Hello everybody and welcome back to another League's release. We've got another big one today. I keep thinking I'm not going to be able to say that tomorrow, but here we are. There's 3 relics that have been released for teleporting, and it's clear they're all competing against each other. We even have a returning relic, being Faerie's Flight. I did pick that one last time, so let's see if it can keep up the goodwill. But of course they have a video releasing this here, so let's get into it. And please do remember that we've been keeping up with the League's reveals every single day. And if you guys haven't, go ahead and check out the playlist, link in the description. In typical React fashion, if I see that there's anything that we need to stop for and talk about, I absolutely will. But let's do it. Jimmy, settled. Who's that? Fairy Ring, Spirit Trees, and Tool Leprechaun in your region. And actually, let me stop real quick and go back to that list. So if we go back to this list here, it goes 1 through 9 and then A through Z. And then there's even 4 more after that, giving us 39 locations. Not too bad for the Faerie's Flight. This is a big list. Okay, so I'm going to go back and count pretty much every one of these to see if I can get a number for this. I'm sure you guys didn't want to see me count, so there's well over 100 locations a part of the bank heist, being able to teleport to any deposit box, bank, or bank chest in your region. This one's huge. Teleport to Follow the Bard and any stash unit. And of course, you know I gotta count up how many teleports we have for these. Altogether, when it comes to the Clue Compass, there's over 111 locations. Bank Heist and Clue Compass are clearly competing for usability here, but the Faerie Ring is left in the dust. And you can teleport to your current clue step. No way. That's even more teleports that aren't even listed. Honestly, just from this short presentation, there is a clear winner. But all right, before we get a little bit too ahead of ourselves, let's look over the nitty-gritty. Let's go over the details. We've got the Faerie's Flight relic, and upon choosing this relic, you will receive the Faerie Mushroom. This item will allow you to teleport to any Fairy Ring, Spirit Tree, or Tool Leprechaun. Unlocking this relic will auto-complete the Tree Gnome Village quest, and this item ignores wilderness teleport restrictions. This item cannot be used to teleport to an area you haven't unlocked. And if you've lost your mushroom, please see the sage. So all in all, Faerie's Flight is pretty much exactly what we remember from previous leagues, and it was pretty good. But now, I'm not so sure I would even consider the Faerie's Flight, because we have something like the Bank Heist. The next relic we're going to be talking about, you will receive the Banker's Briefcase when picked. This item will allow you to teleport to any deposit box, bank, or bank chest. This item ignores wilderness teleport restrictions just like the Faerie's Flight, and this item cannot be used to teleport to an area you haven't unlocked. That seems kind of obvious, but you know they have to say it. And if you've lost your briefcase, please go see the sage. After all, the bank heist does seem pretty awesome, and I'm pretty sure anyone would be able to use it. This is almost like giving you the utility at least halfway of Last Recall, because you know that you were going to a bank when you teleported out. But here's the real spicy one, everybody. We've got the Clue Compass. This item will allow you to teleport to any stash unit and Follow the Bard, respecting all area unlocks, and it has the ability to teleport you to your current clue step. If you have one, note this will not work on clue steps that require you to kill a certain NPC. Okay, so that is a little bit nerfed, especially when it comes to hard, master, and elite clues. But still, that is so many teleport locations, I can't even state how many. It's well over 100 with just the list, but if it's teleporting you to your current clue step, you might as well throw another 100 on the list. This to me is far and above more useful than the other two by leaps and bounds. It also ignores wilderness teleport restrictions, which truthfully is a pretty big nerf to the wilderness if you were going there to PK. Anyone sees you, they're just gonna teleport out. in any location in the wilderness. And this item cannot be used to teleport to an area you haven't unlocked. If you do lose the clue compass, make sure to see the sage to pick it back up. And wow, everybody, that was an amazing update. I think I know which one I'm picking, but honestly, I could be overlooking a little bit of the utility from Faerie's Flight, or maybe even the bank heist. If you guys see some utility that I'm missing from those two, please leave it down below. But you know I gotta ask the question, which one are you guys gonna pick? But there is one more thing I want to point out, specifically about the bank heist. When you're skilling the very first relic that you would have picked, you're going to get those resources sent automatically to your bank anyway. So there's just a small amount of, I guess, negative synergy with bank heist and any of the first relics that you pick. So I guess if you were gonna pick between bank heist and the clue compass, then it might be the deciding factor. So I do just want to point out a few more things that I realized before we go. You can still teleport by normal means, meaning that you're still going to have fairy rings if you have the regions to unlock them. So if you're in that region, Faerie's Flight is already getting a little bit less useful. Also remember, if you plan on picking the Arcane Grimoire, you're going to unlock a bunch of teleports as well from every single spellbook. So if you were going to pick the Banker's Note that already essentially lets you teleport to the cities, then you're gonna start getting some negative synergy when you have Banker's Heist and the Grimoire unlocked. And one more thing to point out for every one of these relics, you're not going to be getting the 100+ list of teleports. You're only going to be getting the things that are unlocked in your area. So you might as well cut these lists in half. And that still goes for fairy rings as well. So in all reality, most of these relics are only half as useful as we think they are. But they're still pretty awesome. You can't lie to that one. And this kind of brings me to a little bit of speculation. We know that we're already going to get stackable clue scrolls to save some time. But does this mean that we're not going to get a clue scroll relic at all? Could you really imagine if there wasn't a chance to automatically duplicate the casket when you open it? And I'm definitely not saying that I would like that to happen. I really want to see the return of something like the Treasure Seeker relic, because that was awesome. But that just means that we're going to have a Klusko relic for another Klusko relic. Is that going to happen? But with all that being said, that's all I got for you, everybody. Leave in the comments below what you think the best option is, and I'll see you all later.